we see something happening in the Splatoon community for so many years. It's no wonder why the Splatoon community has gone toxic lately. It's because of drama and pedophilia inside this community. Of course, we see so many pedophiles inside that Splatoon community in every social media. Some are pedophiles who are actually weak and cannot stand all this drama. And of course, some pedophiles who have lots of power that can eventually just start all this drama and eventually start the incident alone. And some, they just had friends that could be able to just take care of them, to take care of their enemies. And by that, exposing a lot of these people inside that Splatoon community who are pedophiles or racist, it's up to luck. And it's eventually risky enough to be able to just keep everybody in the Splatoon community safe. And they'll be able to just tell you what to do to keep them away from you. And all these people in the Splatoon community wants you to do is not go near those pedophiles or support them in any other way. They tell them not to harass them or witch hunt them in any other way. Because if these people in that Splatoon community start harassing and witch hunting and bullying those pedophiles, then their lives will be in jeopardy. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video, comments down below, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos in the future, as we're going to be exposing 3 of these people in that Splatoon community. Hope you enjoy.
This is the Monado's power!
And oh boy, right off the bat we go from this first one. Now this first pedophile that we're going to be exposing is that she's from Instagram and a cat person named Liz Octoling. Until this year, Liz has becoming a better person than she was this year, but this is a type of story from the past that I did not actually expected. Until what I actually just said is that this is a story from the past that Liz actually done before. I actually talked with my mutual friend, Crayer Inkas, about what Liz Octoling actually done in the past. Crayer actually told me that Liz was doing awful things because back in the past she was a creepy person, and at that moment on, she officially groomed Crayer Inkas. Until back in the past, Crayer was actually 15 years old. Meanwhile, Liz Octoling was 18. At this rate, it still counts as pedophilia. I literally asked Crayer Inkas that Liz is about to be able to destroy him and Ruby's relationship, and he answered not really, but she's pretty insane when she sees me when I'm dating someone else besides her. Until we actually see here is that Liz was actually jealous when she sees Ruby. And I totally mean, she gets completely jealous when Crayer was dating Ruby. When I first met Liz, she was kinda a bit weird until she continued me with in private before she made her GC with other boys.
What the fuck was that?
This literally disgusted me when she made GC with other boys. It literally disgusts me. And at that rate, Liz did absolutely nothing to Ruby when Crayer and Ruby were together. Besides, she's beefing with her. And Crayer officially told me when Lucy and him were together for long, Liz decided to become a creepy person to a cat person. And believe me, I actually do like the cat person Liz, not gonna lie. But the creepy Liz, ugh, it literally disgusts me. And Crayer was officially shocked she did this again back then incident like a few months ago. And what do I mean about a few months ago? She groomed a fucking 14-year-old!
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm. Even my fingers.
So yeah, Liz Octoling committed a crime twice. Now, this question actually came up into my head multiple times. Do I want Crayer and Ruby's relationship destroyed again? No, not at all. I really do want Crayer and Ruby to have their relationship become healthy as ever. But for Liz, she really needs to learn her lesson not to groom people again. When she actually came back from a hiatus, she gave everyone an apology on Instagram.
Hey. If you wonder why I've been hiatus for a month, It's because I did such bad things. Terrible things in the past.
Indeed you did, Liz. Indeed you did do this back to the past. And you should feel guilty for yourself for what you have done to yourself.
I know everyone hates me because of my actions. I admit my guilty for all my actions grooming a minor. I wanted to apologize to my victims of done. Bottom of my heart, I am truly sorry.
Alright. At least you did apologize to your victims for what you have done to them. Or even yet, turn yourself in. You committed the same crime twice now, and for that moment on, in thinking in my brain that you'll never be able to change again. I feel a little bit better from now thanks to my boyfriend Mario SFM and his other friends from helping me recover in therapy. Even gave me a last chance to improve myself to everyone. If you still hate me, I promise I won't interrogate or intervene everyone. I'll just be with my boyfriend from now. Well, I hope from now on you learned your lesson. You learned your lesson from now on, Liz. Even though Mario and his friends are going to be giving you a chance, but I swear to God to you, Liz, if you groom another minor again, then hopefully in the future, you and Mario will break up. You apologize, then after that, people won't accept it.
Show me your moves!
Next up, who has become a predator in Instagram, and his name is Silverneoncyrus. Not to mention, Silverneoncyrus has been exposed since December 11th, 2021, which eventually was last year, and he got exposed by Pollo the Meme Land and Marine the Octo, my BFF. Until further notice that both Cyrus and Marine the Octo, they actually speak German. Now, Marine the Octo is doing the right thing to expose Cyrus, which I'm very proud of Marine for doing this right now. So Cyrus actually asked to Marine the Octo what her birthday is, and she officially said July 3rd. And right now, for what we see is that Marine the Octo is actually probably 16 or 17. And saying that you had literally had a nightmare, which eventually that you did pedophilia, Cyrus, this will be a complete nightmare to you. At that rate, Cyrus actually said, "I love you, my cute Octoling." But apparently, people did not know that Marine the Octo is a boy. However, I'm not blind, but Marine the Octo is actually a chill dude, and he's a really good best friend to me, and a really good bestie. Eventually, that he did change his bio on Instagram to a male, because people actually still think that Marine is a girl. Not on social media, but in reality. That you just got completely tricked on by a trap card. The reason why, in my opinion, that Cyrus got tricked is because Cyrus did not even know that Marine the Octo is a boy. Until from that last year, that Marine the Octo has been groomed by Cyrus because Cyrus was actually sexually role-playing with him. Until that further on, the reason why Marine the Octo is actually completely hurt because he was completely sick and Cyrus wanted to help him. Just seeing my BFF Marine the Octo being surrounded by pedos just sexually role-playing with him makes me want to punch a hole in the wall. And it's not because I just don't want Marine the Octo to be completely dyed by so many people all over social media. No, I do not want that to happen. But what Cyrus actually did, he did the most piece of shit plan in the world. And of course, at that moment, that people actually just commented about what Silverneoncyrus actually did to him.
Pedophiles must die. Yee. This is not super idol minus 100 quadrillion social credit for Neo.
FBI, open up!
Kill him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
And of course, Cyrus actually left Instagram forever. Well, not forever, but hopefully he'll never come back eventually. When Cyrus actually got exposed last year, I'm glad that Marine is safe from now. And as for you weak pedophiles out there all over social media, you better be prepared for yourself, because Marine the Octo can actually become an agent and start exposing you if you actually sexually role-playing with him. Until that specific day, he doesn't want him and his OCs to be sexualized by groomers. Of course, we actually did see the exposed video of Maxwell plays Roblox by exposing Splatty Boy and the others. And most of all, that video has been published since 2 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden he retired as a drama reporter. We did see the comments on YouTube that Danny Mew wanted to reported Maxwell's video because she got exposed for it, until further notice that Danny Mew was actually blaming the people in the Splatoon community, which eventually it's not their fault that they ruined her life. It's actually Danny Mew herself who eventually destroyed her life. Not the people in the Splatoon community, but herself. Since that Maxwell actually exposed Danny, it made Danny go berserk and just wants to destroy that YouTube video and just cause a lot of drama about this exposed video whatsoever. But unfortunately, that report was not effective against Maxwell's exposed video whatsoever. We do not know how, but it does not even work. The video Danny reported was somewhat not effective since it's been more than 10 hours. This tweet was only made from the aftermath of the movie when the premiere was over, or a long time short. And for Danny, she still lies and fails to admit what she has done. Not to mention though that this whole incident between Maxwell and Danny officially started since back in summer of 2021. We see here that Danny Mew and Maxwell have eventually started normal roleplay, but this time it went complete downfall. As of that moment on, she eventually was sexually roleplaying with Maxwell. As we definitely see here that Danny Mew was in an adult age. Meanwhile, for Maxwell, that Maxwell is actually in his 15s and 17. Until that further notice, these two have blocked each other. And Danny Mew was actually crying for the fact that Maxwell has eventually blocked her. Like, what the actual fuck? I did nothing to deserve this.
Oh, fucking boo! Grow the fuck up!
Speedy put my life in danger. His server has people who work for Maxwell who expose his people, and the people began torturing me in his server. He did nothing about it.
You serious?
Danny, like, what the fuck did ever Speedy do to you? What did he ever do to you? I was busy, and I was inactive, Danny. What does it mean if someone's inactive? They even sleep or busy. Does anyone agree with me on that? Yes, I do agree with you, brother. I pinged you several times and called you. And also, next time, Danny, if someone is not active, it means their phone is freaking dead or etc. So if someone ain't active, either be patient and wait for him, or talk to someone else. I agree with Speedy. But what the f is going on? If it's drama, don't put in it. I don't have time for it. Danny, he was most likely doing something and he didn't see it until now. Maxwell exposed me and I'm being attacked for it. Thank you, Carmen, but also Danny, my phone was dead, I was busy, I don't get notifications from social media. This whole Danny Mew situation just made me and Speedy go complete argument, and eventually he left social media because of the Danny Mew problem. Until that specific day, when Maxwell eventually exposed Danny, Danny eventually did report Maxwell's videos because not giving her permission to show her face.
Shut the fuck up, no one cares. Know your fucking place, trash.
I believe that the fact that Danny Mew was a complete dumbass for just blaming the entire people in the Splatoon community for ruining her life, which eventually she started this whole pedophilia herself. I find it actually dumb that Danny Mew was a complete crybaby because all she wanted to do was just get attention from somebody all over the entire social media, so that way she doesn't become homeless whatsoever. And by doing that, she's been a massive manipulator and just wanting them to be able to just give the money to her. Which I eventually do believe that Mr. Bubblegum was right about one thing about Danny Mew. And this shit really pisses me off that Danny Mew was actually blaming the victim, and that victim was Maxwell. Now, to be fully aware with you with this whole question, do I think that Maxwell deserves to be threatened by so many people after what he did to roleplay with Danny? No, not at all. Maxwell is a very good friend of mine and a very good person to be able to just have a talk with or any other thing like that. And I do believe the fact that Maxwell has to be able to just forget everything about Danny, move on in his entire life. Even though he officially retired as a drama reporter, I want to wish him the best of luck in the future. But for Danny, well, me and Speedy the Octoling, we both eventually blame on her because of her doing all this pedophilia shit and all this attention seeking for just donations. To be fully honest with you, Danny was actually completely the most dumbest person in the world in the Splatoon source community, which eventually she's been using people for online cash so that way she doesn't become homeless in May. And eventually kept on saying that she is on Maxwell's side. She harassed her and the Speedy server, which is one of them, which eventually Agent X7 was on Maxwell Plays Roblox's side. You're gonna love this one. Maxwell eventually says this, that he regrets doing this type of roleplay with Danny. Listen.
I regret doing this type of roleplay with Danny. And she obviously doesn't know that I'm still a minor, which she doesn't allow that. And then, here it is. This is where she started the erotic roleplay. Not gonna lie, that was intense. Like, why? Why do this type of stuff, Danny? Just why?
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Maxwell, listen to me, buddy. Listen to me closely, okay? It's not your fault that you eventually just started this roleplay in the first place. It's actually Danny Mew's fault. Not yours, just Danny's. Okay? It's not your fault. And you did the right thing to be able to just block Danny Mew because of all this roleplay that both of you guys were doing. Which you did the right thing, in my opinion. You did great. You really did great. And eventually, Dannymew would become crazy and just doing all this threatening and all of her anger and frustration out of her body. And just literally just blaming the entire people. And Jesus fucking Christ, again with her blaming on the people in the Splatoon community. And saying that you just really want to kill yourself, that you have nothing else to live, which eventually you didn't even listen to the rules. Until further notice, she become more crazy and eventually just removing a lot of people on Discord on her server and saying this. Answer me, Maxwell Plays Roblox. You need to expose these shitheads for ruining my life. This is Maxwell's response to Danny.
No. No, I will not, Danny, because I will expose you for what you have done. That was unforgivable. And what you have done was severely hurtful and rude and disrespectful to the people you victimized and cussed them all off for what you have done over a stinking boyfriend because you dated guys that you're not supposed to do? Man, you're just like Ellie Cordelia, Danny.
Yeah, he has the point. It's so frustrating that Danny was blaming the entire people on Discord who eventually just ruined her entire life, which eventually it's not their fault, it's her fault. She did this completely unacceptable. Stop blaming people for what they truly are, Danny Mew.